Welcome to Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I have Kim Oslob, who is the Senior Global Director of Customer Success at Axway. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I know that Axway it is a software company with a data integration platform service, and it's been around with like 2,000 employees. It's a French company, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to kind of share about what the company does, and then also your role in customer success, please.
Yeah. So we allow, we have our integration platform, which what we do is allow companies to, or enterprise companies really, to link up and also automate their internal and external data sources, and that helps accelerate their business processes. I'm focused on our SaaS software, which is more secure content collaboration. Okay. But for example, our file transfer solution, you can link up with different data sources like Salesforce, and it helps for people that are maybe like non-technical to be able to work through and have a easier time with those data.
Yes, I think nowadays if you need something, you have to pull it from multiple places. Yeah. Right. So that integration is essential.
Yeah, and we're based a lot on security, which is a big premise of our company and a big part of the software that I particularly work on.
Okay, so the function of customer success is essential and even more and more prominent now that the software delivery is on a monthly recurring revenue model. So your role is very important, right? You retain that relationship and you grow that relationship.
Yes, exactly. And if we go back to when SaaS first started, really, and customer success first started, when I got into customer success, and it was very, very new. We come from an account management model where, if you sell software to somebody, they buy it, where, if you go away and you don't need to really service them. But now with the MRR or even ARR, so annual subscriptions, that just changed everything for everybody in tech, and it put the power in the customer's hands, which is great. So at that point, you have a customer that buys your software, and you need to make sure that they meet the goals that they came in for. It's typically when you buy a product, a software, you're trying to solve a business case, or you have a problem and you're trying to solve that. So you buy a software to solve that, or make things more efficient in your company. And that's what we call desired business outcomes. And so as a customer success professional, your job is to make sure that the customers get that out of your software. So if they come in to buy it for one reason, make sure that that comes to fruition for them and you help them along the way. And hey, you also can introduce them to new things in the product that may be of benefit to them, because as you go along, you are creating a relationship with them. So I would, if you were my customer, I would completely understand your business and what your pain points are and how you work on a day-to-day basis. So I would be intelligent in telling you, hey, we have another part of our software that you can use that will help you out as well.
I think I used to think that customer success, which I thought was like customer support, it must be a terrible job because you get people calling to complain about you all the time. But you said that customer success can actually be a fun job and can be a very rewarding job. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I think it's a super fun job. And to your point that people think it's support, you thought it was support. A lot of people actually do still think it's support, and I'm always advocating and explaining what customer success is. But it is a really fun job because part of the premise of the job is creating a relationship with your customers. And creating a relationship with anybody is about getting to know them, getting to connect with them, and to me that's super fun. And you're having conversations with them. So a lot of my customers, at past companies and at this company, I know how many kids they have. I know what they do for fun outside of just their day-to-day job. I also know what they do in their day-to-day job. That's important to know because we need to be able to help them. But so we go have a coffee with them. We,
that's very hard.
But so we go ahead.
What about the big base of clients that are smaller accounts?
Yeah. So there's two different kinds.
You're
absolutely right. So there's two kinds. So it's fun dealing with the bit larger accounts because you are more high touch.
Yes.
And there's a concept in customer success of high, medium, and low touch, and you're talking about the low touch customers. Obviously, it's not cost effective if you have an account $5,000 a year to sit down and have coffee or lunch with them, but you still need to interact with them because it's about the old model of forget if it's not.
Right.
This is why we have emails that we get in our box from, maybe you buy something from a company and then they send you reminders about their product. It's the same thing when you have a software as a service product. Because they're low touch, it doesn't mean that you just leave them on the side to just sit there. You maybe can send them helpful things that will help them along the way, but maybe via email or a webinar or a video.
So how can you get so now that systems are very intelligent, it's monitoring everything. So are you getting that intelligence to then be able to proactively send something that's relevant to that particular customer?
Yeah. Okay. So in customer success, you always should be looking at the data analytics. And what I mean by that is the usage in the product. Some products you can look in that directly, but every product has usage data. So if I look at a customer and I see they're not using a particular part of our solution that I think would possibly benefit them, then I can send them content on that. Maybe it's a video that says, hey, did you know we have this feature that will be useful to you, and here's a video to walk through, or here's documentation on it, or we're having a webinar come up.
And this are automated, right?
This is automated, yeah. So you can get a customer success solution, which we have, and I've used at other companies, customer success solutions that integrate with your platform and gives you that usage data in that platform, and then through that platform you can send out content that's relevant to those customers. Okay,
so that's almost like what we do on the marketing side, the marketing automation based on the profile, people visiting the sites, what they're interested in, that we respond to that. So it's very much the same thinking and the same process. Now you when you started, you said the first time you attended was actually an event.
Yes, I attended a customer success event. So I was at a company that I went through the migration of a desktop software. The company took a desktop software, migrated to the SaaS, and said, okay, now what do we do? And then they said, well, Kim, you're really good at relationships with the customers. I think that you should handle the customers, make sure that they're taken care of. We didn't know what that was called. We didn't know the full role of what I was supposed to do, but the founders said, you seem to be the right person. So I found a conference in San Francisco that I attended that explained exactly what I knew I was supposed to do. And I went to this conference, and it was only for VPs and above. And so I went to the conference, and there was 40 of us, 40 VPs at this conference, and we all said the same thing. We have this role, we don't know what we're supposed to do. So I look back when I started, it was about 10 years ago, in customer success. And at that time, I learned that it was called customer success.
So at this event, you heard that term, customer success, for the first time.
And I changed. I think we called our team client success, and I'm all, no, we need to now call it customer success. And it's interesting because now today there's all sorts of resources and help for people in customer success.
There's a lot of jobs,
but there was
customer success.
Exactly. So it's the hot job right now, actually. So it's really, there's a lot of companies out there bringing in customer success, and traditionally it kind of started in SaaS, but you see other product lines using customer success. At Axway, we have other product lines that aren't SaaS, but we have customer success teams because our company sees the value in customer success. So it's really grown from back then when I didn't know much of what I was supposed to do, and I'm kind of building it by going to that conference and connecting up with other people,
learning on the job,
and formulated it. And sure, I made mistakes back then, and I take those mistakes that I learned, because mistakes you learn from, right? And I incorporate them into what I do today, which I think is great, because I got to start where things were kind of formulating out, and I think that's really fun. But you see where it's at today, and it's just exciting how it's grown. and quickly.
And I like how you mentioned that one of your former employees, I guess, had left the team and said, "Oh, if I had stayed with all these innovative programs you put in place, that he would have enjoyed being a customer success manager."
Yes, exactly. Because there's a lot of things that people don't know, that how customer success, one part is the fun part. Like if you go into a job and your customer success role is not fun, then you'll probably get turnover if the manager is not making it a fun part and showing people how they can make it fun. Also, you can get customer success teams that I walked into at other companies that are in a reactive mode, and that makes it not fun, right? So when you bring in a customer success solution, and also you move into a more proactive role, you get ahead of issues, you get ahead of problems, and you predict things prior. Then it also makes it nice for the customer success manager. It makes it great for the customers as well. And that's where you'll get people to stay in your company and loyal to your company. And also I found too with teams, I'm always helping them learn. So I typically give my team books when they come in. I'm always giving them webinars to attend. I've had some attend conferences. So growing and learning is what a lot of people in customer success want to do, because when I look at teams that I've walked into, several companies, a lot of them are still new to what customer success is, and they want to know all the metrics that you need to collect. They want to know how to be strategic. And when I tell people your role is strategic, they get excited because they really sometimes don't know that they are a strategic player.
They are.
And customer success is a whole company, right? Because the whole company has to be focused on the customer, but also customer success manager is a role. And these people that come into these roles, they really want to, grow and learn more. And I'm more than happy to teach them because, like I said, I've made the mistakes early on, and I've learned from the early stages and seen the migration and made changes according to how everything's changed.
This is Women's History Month.
Yes.
So I just wanted to ask you a bit more about the diversity and inclusion and your experience as a woman in tech.
And I started in tech in college, and at that time, I thought that women were just in supporting roles. To be honest, I was an exec admin. I worked through a temp agency, and I went into my first high tech job, and that's what I kind of thought that the world was. And as I grew into tech, because I thought engineers were men mostly, and I don't even remember even seeing any women. Maybe I can't remember. So that's kind of interesting that I can't even remember if there was any women in the company I worked at in engineering at all at that time. And then as I progressed along, I've started to see, a lot of programs out there and a lot of initiatives to get more women involved. And I think it's, my first roadblocker when I went in and when I was converting to tech is like, I didn't think like I should be in anything except where I was at, which was that supporting role. And when I started to see the migration and started to see people's mindset kind of changing and actually encouraging women, that's where I started to just kind of move through the ranks and learned a lot of things on the job. And we come to today, and we still have a ways to go, I think.
But what you said, it shows the fact that you didn't see women engineers in this company. Points to the importance of actually having role models.
Yes.
Right, having women in all levels of the organization, from an engineering all the way up to an executive level, VP, CEO.
Yes.
And I think that is so critical. And so, I think the progress is certainly there, right? You've seen
the progress is there, because I was at a company and there was, and I met a VP of engineering, and I actually fell under her org. And I was in complete shock, and I'm like, wow, a female VP of engineering. I didn't want to be a VP of engineering, but I wanted to be there as a VP. And probably several years later, that's when I moved up and landed my first VP role. and it was just amazing to see that, and that actually encouraged me.
Her role was inspirational.
It was super inspirational because it was something I didn't think that was attainable, and so it pushed me to where I was pushing myself to get to that level. And then I learned along the way it was about what I put out and my skill set, and when people accepted that, you know, it's about people's skill and what they can do, and women can equally, you know, do the same role as a male can. And so it was really exciting for me. And when I finally got to be, you know, in a VP role, I felt very accomplished, you know, and I felt very respected, and it was really
and
a
now
great
you
feeling.
are the role model for other women.
Yes, and I get asked a lot by other women, like, where did you get here? And I tell them the progression, and it's funny because sometimes people look at my, you know, LinkedIn. I don't even know if I go that far back on my LinkedIn now to when I was exec admin, but when I tell people where I started out, and they're all like, what? You know, how did you get there? And so they, you know, I really encourage people to just, you know, just follow that, and you can obtain it.
Right.
You know, for sure.
Do you have mentors? Do you have programs or organizations that you go to?
Yeah, so there's women in tech organizations. I'm involved in a lot of LinkedIn groups. I have there's a woman, her name's Karen Catlin, and she's in the Bay Area, and she writes books, and she gives talks on women inclusion in high tech. So I follow her a lot. I actually know her back from when she was the VP of engineering that I talked about.
Yes.
So you know, I follow her posts and follow, you know, she gives a lot of talks, so I watch those talks and stuff. So she's a huge inspiration for me as well.
Yes.
And then when I go to conferences, I'm always searching for, you know, topics that will help me along the way of my career.
And you mentor others. So in
I do.
In your team right now, are there formal programs in place, or how do you do that?
So in my team, I mentor everybody in my team, you know, and I do have women in my team, I have men in my team, so I mentor everybody in my team as I'm going along. I don't think there's a formal program. I don't know if there's a formal program in the company. There could be that, I don't know, but I mentor them. I'm also a LinkedIn mentor for people as well. And I do get contacted a lot, mostly from Europe, which is interesting, but I get contacted a lot by women in director and VP positions, or even maybe manager positions that seek out advice from me.
Excellent. That's wonderful to hear. So, you know, I appreciate you being on the show. You're the first person here on the show for March 1st, being the Women's History Month, to share with us. So I look forward to seeing your career advance even further, and you helping the rest of the customer success folks in your field to progress.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited too to see where I'll go, but yeah, thank you.
Kim Oslob, who's the Senior Global Director of Customer Success at Axway. Thank you for watching Take It Up with Jessica Lee.